Hey guys, Sarek here, and today we're finally teaching Yu-Gi-Oh players how to read. That's right, I've got an ABC deck to show you here. So, before we get into the profile, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let's get into it. We have 3 A Assault Core. Now, A is the first letter of the alphabet. Once per turn, you can target one light machine monster you control, equip this card to it, or unequip it and special summon it. Monster equipped with this card is unaffected by monster effects, except its own. The equipped card would be destroyed by a card effect or battle. Destroy this card instead. If this card goes from the field to the graveyard, add one union monster from your graveyard to your hand. So, all of the A, B, and C, they all have the same sort of first bit of text. One makes you immune to monsters, this one. One makes you immune to spells, one makes you immune to traps, and then they all have an effect when they hit the graveyard. So then we have 3 copies of the second letter of the alphabet. Wow! So this one makes your monsters unaffected by opponent's spell effects, and if it goes from the field or graveyard, you get to add one union monster from your deck to your hand. And then finally, we have 3 copies of the third letter of the alphabet. This makes them unaffected by trap effects, and if it goes from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one union monster from your hand. So you can see how they all work in tandem with each other there. Now we have the most expensive component of the deck. 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier. This card is amazing in this deck because it searches itself, so it allows you to make Cyber Dragon Infinity. It's an easy special summon because most of the deck is light. It's easy link fodder. It gives us access to Cyber Dragon Infinity. It puts our A, B, and C into the graveyard if they're stuck in the hand. It's really, really good. It's expensive. Ideally, you'd run 3, but we're gonna stick with 2 for now, mainly for costs. What I am running, though, is a small gadget package. We have 2 gold gadget and 2 silver gadget. Now, these are fundamentally the same card. If they're normal or special summoned, you get to special summon a machine monster from your hand, and then if they're destroyed by battle or card effect, you get the other one from your deck. Very, very simple. The main reason we're using this is to bring out the union monsters if they're stuck in our hand, and also they give us a bit of recursion, and they're also level 4 light monsters. 2 copies of Union Driver. We're running 2 because this card is a brick if you draw it and ruins a load of your combos. Has the normal Union effect, but while it's equipped to a monster, you can banish this card and then equip one level 4 or lower Union monster from your deck to that card that this monster was equipped to. Really, really good card. It gets around the restriction of being unable to special summon the card that you equipped, that is in play with things like unauthorized reactivation. So that's why we play Union Driver. 3, your Gamma package and Driver saying hello. We've got 2 drivers in this deck. Let's go. You know what Gamma does by now. If you don't have your Gammas, please go and buy some Gammas. They've just been reprinted again. There's very little excuse for not having some copies of Gamma. Gamma is really, really good. And it's also really, really good in this deck. Yeah. You know what Gamma does by now. That's the only hand trap we're running, though. We have 3 copies of Union Hanger. Union Hanger does everything the deck could ever ask it for it. When it's activated, search a machine union monster, a light machine union monster, and then once per turn, if it's normal or special summoned, a light machine monster is normal or special summoned, you can target one of those monsters, equip another light machine union monster with a different name from your deck, but that monster can't be special summoned this turn. This is how you get Union Driver from your deck. It's really good. This card is insane. It's how the deck runs. It starts so many of your plays off. So please, please, please run it. And it's really, really cheap now, even for secret rare copies, which look amazing. 3 copies of unauthorized reactivation. This is like quick play Union Driver. So you can obviously this obviously get Union Driver, Union Hanger. This gets your Union monsters out of your deck. It also allows you to blank some removal. Obviously by suddenly equipping a copy of... So, say if they droplets you and they don't discard a spell, you can use this and immediately equip the Union that gives you spell immunity, B, to your ABC Dragon Buster, and now their droplets doesn't do anything, because you're unaffected by spell effects. It's really, really good. So, yeah, unauthorized reactivation, really good card. It's 3 more copies of Union Driver / Union Hanger almost. It's quick play. It can save you from destruction, and can also be a sort of interrupt / pseudo negate in a deck that does not have very many of them. 3 Pot of Desires. This deck does not run any real one-ofs bar Driver. That is Psyframe Driver, not Union Driver, because we're running 2 of that. You know what Desires does. This deck really, really needs ways of getting to Union monsters, so you play Desires. 2 Forbidden Chalice. I love this card. It's imperm, but it costs 50 pence instead of 8 quid. Yeah, it can be used offensively, defensively, it can be used in the damage step. It's good going second. It's good going first. It's just generally a really, really good card. One Called by the Grave, because this deck does not like hand traps, and there are a number of places in your combos that, if you get hit by Ash Blossom, you will be very, very sad, so we play Called by. 1 Terraforming, because have I mentioned that Union Hanger is a really, really, really good card, and you really, really want to see the Union Hanger? No? Well, now you know. Play Terraforming. And then for our traps, we have 3 Torrential Tributes. Torrential Tribute is really, really good because it's obviously massive board disruption, and we summon ABC by banishing the monsters from the grave, so we can activate Torrential, chain ABC to the activation, special summon our 3 banished small machines, and then they go back to the graveyard, and then the next turn we can immediately summon ABC again. Very, very simple. Two copies of Solemn Strike. Again, you know what Solemn Strike does by now. When a monster special summoned or an effect activated, 1500 life, negate the summon or activation and destroy the card. One of the best generic traps in the game, and that's really all there is to say about it. And then finally, Imperial Order, because winning the game is fun. Although Imperial Order itself is not a fun card. But it's available, we can run it, so why not? Yeah, it's not a fun card, it should be banned, but we still have access to it, and it's still cheap. So, onto our extra deck. Now, we get what happens if we put all 3 together. We get ABC Dragon Buster. So, it's summoned by banishing the above cards you control and from your graveyard. So, you don't have to worry about putting everything in your graveyard if you can't get it all in there. And you don't need a fusion spell for it. Once per turn, quick effect, discard a card, target a field, banish it. Card on the field, banish it. Simple, very effective. Quick effect banishing removal is wonderful. The discard is fine because it puts more copies of your unions in the graveyard to summon more copies of ABC Dragon Buster. And then, during your opponent's turn, quick effect, tribute this card, target 3 banished Light Machine union monsters with different names, special summon them. This card dodges all the removal, it banishes stuff, it gives you massive amounts of board presence for link climbing. Yeah, the card is really, really good. It's been limited multiple times, mainly because they were worried about Master Rule updates, but it's back at 3, and thank goodness it is back at 3. Another one of the more expensive components of the deck is the Nova Infinity package. Obviously, if you weren't playing this, you could cut the Galaxy Soldiers down, but it's really, really good and adds an extra ceiling and negation on a deck that doesn't have a lot of negation. Obviously, you summon Nova with your Galaxy Soldiers, and then obviously you put Infinity on top of it. Now, if your Nova gets destroyed before you've made Infinity, for whatever reason, such as your opponent plays a Torrential, you can then summon out a Machine Fusion, like invoked Mechaba, so you still end up with an Omni-Negate. So, this is one of the more expensive parts of the deck. Obviously, you could choose to cut this out, lowers the ceiling, gives you fewer negates, but is an option if you really wanted to budgetize the deck. But in both ways, you end up with an Omni-Negate, which is very, very useful. And obviously, Infinity gives you removal as well. 1 Gear Gigant X, because it's searching for any machine monster you need in the game. It's very, very good. It's a generic rank 4 for machines. We can make it easily with our gadgets, with our union monsters, and it searches out whatever we need from the deck. 1 Tornado Dragon, because floodgates suck, and if people are playing there can be only one, or you get Imperial Ordered or similar, then you need to make sure you have an out to it. 1 Abyss Dweller, because graveyard decks are a thing, and always will be a thing, and it still hasn't been topped as one of the best generic Reg 4s in the 15 odd years. Less than 15. 10 years odd. 10 odd years since it was released. For our links, we have 1 Platinum Gadget. This cannot be used as link material to turn its link summoned. During your main phase, special summon 1 level 4 or lower machine monster from your hand to the zone this card points to. And then if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon a level 4 or lower gadget from your deck. Very, very simple card, very, very effective. Just, it's an easy way of putting 2 machine names into the graveyard and then specialing out another extender that you can go on there. Very, very easy way of using your A, B, and C to add them from your hand, special summon them, make Platinum Gadget, search the final piece, special summon that, and then you can make ABC. Very, very simple, very, very effective. 1 Cross Sheep. This is a fusion deck. It is really, really good in fusion decks. The amount of advantage you get from Cross Sheep is ridiculous, so yeah, play Cross Sheep. It's absolutely amazing. And has just been reprinted at Secret Rare, but I don't have a Secret Rare copy, so you can flex a bit if you want. Are Nightmares, because they're generic, and we love generic stuff, and sometimes you have lots of board presence, but the wrong names, so you can't make an ABC. So, you make a Nightmare instead. 1 Unchained Abomination, because destroying stuff in the end phase is fun. And just playing this with anything. And note, it applies if your opponent destroys your cards as well. And it also applies for battle as well. So you summon this, you run over something, immediately pop something else. Very, very simple. But remember, it requires a link monster. And then finally, we have 1 Topologic Zeraboros. This deck can trigger Zeraboros pretty much ad nauseum whenever it wants to by using your ABC effect. So you can sometimes just, when you've got an ABC out, you can make a Zeraboros, summon an ABC from the graveyard, but pointing to a different zone that Zeraboros points to, obviously. And then during your opponent's turn, if the moment they do anything a little bit sus, then you can sack off your ABC and nuke the field with Zeraboros. So that is ABC. As I said, the deck is fairly cheap. The Galaxy Soldier and the Cyber Dragon bit is the most expensive part of the deck, so they would be where to look for cuts. Obviously, for improving it, add another copy of Galaxy Soldier would be an excellent start. But I hope you enjoyed the profile, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to read your Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Thanks for watching.